Hello and welcome to the FA Women's National League show, the show where we look at everything that has happened in the past 7 days and what is going to come up in the next week in the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. My name is Chris Gadsby and we'll be covering everything that's happened in the Northern Premier, Southern Premier divisions and Division 1 in the Midlands, North, South East and South West. We've had so much happening over the last 7 days, essentially 2 rounds of fixtures to look at this week. We've had our first midweek fixtures of the 21-22 campaign and of course a full Sunday programme as well. 124 goals on Sunday, and we'll be taking you through as many of them as possible in this week's show. We've also had some big movers in the tables. The tables are now starting to take a bit more shape as well. Can see some gaps forming between the teams at the top and the teams in the lower third. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. I've got my second screen as always on my right hand side here, and we'll start off straight away with the midweek fixtures from the Northern Premier Division, where on Wednesday, AFC FAWNL beat Burnley by 2-0. Huddersfield Town 1, Brighouse Town 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. And then on Thursday, Nottingham Forest a 3-1 victory over Sheffield FC. And Stoke City 2, Derby County 3. So we'll just go through those ones from the week as well. FAWNL beating Burnley by 2-0. FAWNL, though, don't have their lineup and goal scorers on the FA Women's National League website. So we'll move straight on to Huddersfield Town against Brighouse Town. Goal for Huddersfield scored by Brittany Sanderson in the 71st minute, also getting booked in that same minute as well. And Huddersfield looked as though they were almost going to hold on to that win, but Drew Green for Brighouse Town in the 89th minute, getting her second goal of the campaign to get a point for Brighouse Town. Wolverhampton Wanderers against West Bromwich Albion, a 2-0 victory for Wolves, one of the teams up near the top of the table. As I said, we'll look at the table again in a bit later on. Goals for Tammy George in the 63rd minute and Amber Hughes in the first minute of added time at the end of the game. Amber Hughes again with her second goal of the campaign. Wolves still yet to concede this season, and we've got a great game coming up for them later on. Then moving into Thursday, Nottingham Forest against Sheffield FC. Sheffield FC with Nottingham Forest former manager Graham Abercrombie coming back to Eastwood. And it was Forest that ran out 3-1 winners in that one. It was a great game to be at, as I was. Goals for Forest from Rosie Axton in the 23rd minute, Georgia Hewitt in the 34th minute. They went in at half-time 2-0 up. Sheffield FC got one back early on in the second half. Yasmin Mason in the 47th minute. Not a clear-cut goal, but the assistant on the far side of the field deemed that it had completely crossed the line, so the goal was given to make it back to 2-1. And then May Moncaster in the 85th minute, sealing all 3 points for Nottingham Forest. And then finally, Stoke City against Derby County. 5 goals in that one. Bit of a thriller, but again, not a huge amount of information yet on the website of the FA Women's National League. Beth Roberts in the 37th minute scoring for Stoke City. Kira Ray in the 72nd minute scoring for Derby County. Goals as well, just trying to have a look on the more detailed sheet here. Goal for Callum Barber from the penalty spot for Stoke City in the 78th minute, getting their second goal there. Let's move then into the weekend fixtures. As I said, plenty of stuff to go through this week. We'll go through and say 124 goals this weekend across the 6 divisions and go through all of them that have been put on the website. We'll start then with Derby County 2, Burnley 1. Hull City 0, Nottingham Forest 6. Loughborough Lightning 1, Huddersfield Town 5. Middlesbrough 4, West Bromwich Albion 1. Sheffield 1, Stoke City 0. Great win for Sheffield FC there. And Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, AFC Fylde 0. That clash of the two teams that were at the top of the table with perfect records, and they held them in each other to a 0-0 draw. We'll have a look. We would have a look at Derby County against Burnley being 2-1, but there isn't any information on that one as of yet. So we'll move into Hull City 0, Nottingham Forest 6. Goals for Nottingham Forest coming all in the second half. Freya Thomas in the 48th minute, Jade Arbour in the 54th, Charlotte Greengrass in the 58th, Rachel Brown in the 69th, Rosie Axton in the 75th, and Jade Arbour getting her second of the game in the 82nd minute. A convincing victory there for Nottingham Forest. Loughborough Lightning 1, Huddersfield Town 5, 2-1 at half-time in this one. Early goals for Huddersfield Town coming from Lucy Sowerby in the 5th minute and from Brittany Sanderson again in the 14th minute. Brittany Sanderson getting her second in 2 games there after scoring that goal against Brighouse Town. And then just before half-time, Abby Bensted for Loughborough getting a goal back, making it 2-1 at half-time. Then Huddersfield Town in the second half. Laura Elford in the 51st minute put them 3-1 ahead, and then 2 goals in the final 10 minutes. One for Kate Mallin in the 83rd minute, and then Laura Elford in the 88th minute gave Huddersfield a convincing, in the end, 5-1 victory. Middlesbrough against West Bromwich Albion then. No information on Middlesbrough as of yet, but they picked up their first win of the campaign. Goal for West Bromwich Albion scored by Mariam Mahmood, but they were down to 10 players after Emily Owen was sent off. So difficult afternoon for West Bromwich Albion. There doesn't seem to be any indication as to when the sending off was, but 4-1 the win for Middlesbrough there, as I said, picking up their first win of the campaign. And also picking up their first win of the campaign was Sheffield FC with the 1-0 victory over Stoke City. Goal there coming from, I'll be honest, we don't know yet, there are no details on the website about that one, but a good win for Sheffield FC, picking up only their second goal of the campaign, but an important 3 points for them. And then, as I mentioned earlier on, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, AFC Fylde 0. The two teams at the top of the table going into Sunday could only play out a 0-0 draw. What that means then for the Northern Premier Division table is that top of the table is Nottingham Forest. 11 goal difference now, 10 points. We're one of 3 teams on 10 points. AFC Fylde and Wolverhampton Wanderers right behind them on 10. Derby County in 4th place with 9 points and Huddersfield Town in 5th place with 8 points. And then you've got this gap, and this is what I was talking about when you look at some gaps are starting to form. Yes, there are games in hand, but there's then a 4-point gap to Brighouse Town and Loughborough Lightning on 4 points, Middlesbrough, Burnley and Sheffield FC on 3 points, Hull City on 1 point, and Stoke City and West Bromwich Albion both yet to get off the mark this season. And what's interesting, I know we'll go into the fixtures coming up in the next week or so before we have that break for the determining round of the Cup. You look at Nottingham Forest there at the top of the table as it stands. Their next 3 fixtures are Wolves, Fylde and Derby County. Wolverhampton Wanderers away, Fylde at home, Derby County at home. So Nottingham Forest now in their next 3 league fixtures have got 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. So it could be a crucial time for Nottingham Forest to see what their title challenge may well look like this season. That is the Northern Premier Division. Then let's have a look at the Southern Premier Division, and we'll start with, again, the fixtures from the week. So on Tuesday, Oxford United a convincing 5-1 victory over MK Dons. Gillingham 0, Ipswich 3. Then on Wednesday, Chichester and Selsey 0, Southampton 2. Crawley Wasps 3, Portsmouth 2. Hounslow 0, London Bees 1. And then on Thursday, Keynsham Town 0, Cardiff City 2. We'll jump back then to Oxford against Milton Keynes Dons. where it was a 5-1 victory for Oxford. They took the lead very early on, the second minute. Beth Lumsden putting Oxford ahead. They had a really good start to this game. Second minute, Beth Lumsden. 5th minute, Daisy McLaughlin. And 7th minute, Lauren Hayes. So 3 goals inside the first 7 minutes for Oxford United there. And then a goal, second goal for Beth Lumsden, and an own goal making it 5 for Oxford. And goal for Milton Keynes Dons scored by Amy McLean. Gillingham falling by 3-0 at home to Ipswich Town. Goals for Ipswich Town from Paige Peake, Sophie Peskett and Natasha Thomas. Some of these names you'll be getting a bit familiar about. Paige Peake with her 3rd of the season already. Natasha Thomas with her 4th there. And Sophie Peskett with her 2nd in as many games. So some prolific goal scorers for Ipswich are coming to the forefront already. Chichester and Selsey 0, Southampton 2. Again, good result for Southampton. 2 goals for Ella Pusey, another one of these players who you'll be hearing time and time again on this show. 5 goals already now for her in this season. We've only played 4 games. A great start to the campaign for her. 12th minute and 68th minute. Crawley Wasps against Portsmouth, probably the standout game in terms of competitiveness over the course of the week's fixtures taking place on Wednesday. Emma Plua on the 7th minute and the 51st minute for Crawley. And then 72nd minute for Naomi Cole for their 3 goals. Portsmouth 2 goals for Sherelle Castle, and once again she had 4 goals against Plymouth on the opening day of the season, 2 goals against Crawley 2 goals against Crawley in this fixture. So she's on 6 goals for the season already. But it wasn't quite enough in this one for anything from the game for Portsmouth, who fall by 3-2. Hounslow against the London Bees, just the 1 goal in this one. Nicole Jancy for the London Bees near to the end of the game, the 79th minute. They're giving them all 3 points. And then finally, the only one in the Southern Division on Thursday was Keynsham against Cardiff City. Cardiff City haven't had the start to the season that they would have liked, and we'll reflect that in the table shortly as well. They had lost both of their opening games to the season to Crawley and to Portsmouth, but finally got off the board with a win. 2 goals for Olivia Thompson, the 43rd and the 70th minute, giving Cardiff their first win. Moving then into the weekend, Bridgwater United 3, Crawley Wasps 1, Ipswich Town 1, Cardiff City 0, Keynsham Town 1, Plymouth Argyle 5. London Bees and Chichester and Selsey played out a 1-1 draw, as did Portsmouth and Oxford United. But the big win in the Southern Premier Division has come from Southampton, who beat Gillingham by 9-0. Let's have a look at that Bridgwater United game then against Crawley Wasps. I will point out as well, I'm recording this on Monday morning, the bank holiday Monday. So not all of the lineups and the goal scorers have necessarily been put on the website yet, but I'll do my best as I can. As I said, Bridgwater United haven't yet announced their lineup, but the goal for Crawley Wasps coming from Rachel Palmer in the 67th minute. Ipswich Town and Cardiff City played out a very close game. There's only the 1 goal in it. Maddie Biggs, the substitute for Ipswich Town, coming off the bench and getting her name on the score sheet to give Ipswich Town all 3 points. Keynsham Town against Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle with 5 goals in this one. It was 2-1 at half-time. Gabby Alphus putting Plymouth ahead in the 9th minute. Natasha Knapman in the 35th. Then in the second half, in the 48th minute, Gabby Alphus again getting her 2nd of the game. Emily Eaton coming off the substitute bench in the 72nd minute, making it 4 goals for Plymouth. In the 49th minute, Zoe Cunningham, just 1 minute after Gabby Alphus' 2nd one. So 5 goals there for Plymouth Argyle. London Bees and Chichester and Selsey playing out that 1-1 draw. Goals in that one coming before half-time from Megan Fox for Chichester. And then with just 20 minutes to go, Lauren Herrier equalising for the London Bees in the 69th minute. It was the same story pretty much in Portsmouth, where they played out a 1-1 draw with Oxford United, but there's no details about that just yet. And then Southampton running riot, really, against Gillingham. 9 goals in that one, 9-0 the final score. 4-0 at half-time. Georgie Freeland opening the scoring in the 15th minute. Ella Morris in the 21st. And then before half-time, Georgie Freeland getting her second of the game in the 42nd minute. Ella Pusey again, this name we're going to keep hearing throughout the whole season, you feel, getting her first of the game on the 43rd minute, just 1 minute later. Then in the second half, goals coming from Ella Pusey again, her second and third of the game, giving her 6 goals from 4 games for Southampton so far. That's the 68th and the 71st minute. Ella Morris getting her second of the game in the 80th minute, and then Kiera Watling in the 85th minute, rounding off the scoring. 48th minute there as well for Sophie Farrow as well. Sorry, I missed that one out there. When all the scorers are all over the place on the team sheet, it can sometimes miss one off. Let's have a look then at the table, the Southern Premier table. Unsurprisingly there, with 4 wins from 4 and that big victory on Sunday, Southampton have shot themselves up to the top of the table with 12 points from their 4 games and a goal difference of 16 already. Ipswich, though, not far behind them with a goal difference of 11 from their 4 games. As I said there as well, 4 wins from 4 for Ipswich. And again, that gap there. Bridgwater United do have a game in hand. They could get up to 10 points, but there's already that 5-point gap between Ipswich and Bridgwater United, with Oxford United, Portsmouth and London Bees all on 7 points. Crawley Wasps on 6, Chichester and Selsey on 4, and then Plymouth, Argyle, Cardiff City, Keynsham Town and Gillingham all on 3 points. MK Dons on 1 point, and Hounslow at the bottom of the table, still yet to get off the mark as their game with Milton Keynes Dons was postponed this weekend. Let's move then into the 4th tier of women's football. And the games midweek, Solihull Moors against Boldmere St Michael's on the Tuesday, 3-1 win for Boldmere St Michael's there. On the Wednesday, Peterborough United 0, Hull Sports 1. Doncaster Rovers Bells 2, Lincoln City 5. Great game there. Long Eaton United 1, Burton Albion 3. But the pick of the bunch on the Wednesday, Wem Town 5, Leek Town 4. Thrilling match there. And then just the one game on the Thursday, Leafield Athletic 3, Bedworth United 2. Have a look then at those midweek fixtures. We'll start on the Tuesday with Solihull Moors against Boldmere St Michael's. Goal in the 2nd minute for Jessica Lundy for Solihull Moors. That was cancelled out. Evie Billingsley, Cheyenne Jarvis getting 2 goals for Boldmere St Michael's and an own goal from Solihull, bringing that up to 3. So Boldmere St Michael's finish off 3-1 winners in that one. On to the Wednesday, Chantel Robinson getting the only goal for Hollowell Sports to put them past Peterborough United. Doncaster Rovers 2, Lincoln City 5. 2 goals for Leah Hardy and 2 for Lauren Wilcock for Lincoln. Helped along by Amy Blinkhorn getting a goal in that one as well. For the 5 goals for Lincoln there, Nadia Khan and Jessica Price getting the goals for Doncaster Rovers Bells. Long Eaton United 1, Burton Albion 3. 2 goals for Ella Ritchie and 1 for Millie Drinkhall, giving the 3 goals for Burton Albion. No lineup announced yet though for Long Eaton United. And then the game of the night really. Wem Town 5, Leek Town 4. So goals coming then for Wem Town. No timings on these, but 2 for Kimberly Bevington, 1 for Zoe Griffiths, Francesca Wolfo and Katie Doster. Those are the goals for Wem Town, those 5 goals. Goals for Leek Town coming in the 32nd minute to Cassie Hyde, 36th minute to Katie Gibbons, 42nd minute for Paris O'Connor, and the 74th minute for Chantel Gallagher. So 4 goals for Leek Town, but not quite enough in this one to get anything from the game. And then just the one game on the Thursday, Leafield Athletic 3, Bedworth United 2. Goals for Bedworth United, who went 1-0 up in this one. Kirsty Farnsworth in the 7th minute, putting Bedworth United in front. But then it was tied up before half-time. Daisy May Clements getting her first of the game for Leafield Athletic. 1-1 it was at the break. And then just after the break, 1 minute after the restart, Daisy May Clements with her second of the game put Leafield Athletic 2-1 up. They then went 3-1 up when Daisy May Clements again got her third of the game, a hat-trick for her on Thursday night. And then Jodie Hunter got one back for Bedworth United in the 85th minute, but again, not enough to get anything from the game, and Bedworth United fell to their third straight defeat. At the weekend then, Bournemouth St Michael's 1, Hull Sports 0, Burton Albion 2, Peterborough United 2, Leafield Athletic 4, Wem Town 1, Lincoln City 2, Solihull Moors 1, Long Eaton United 1, Bedworth United 0, and Sporting Cows 1, Leek Town 3. Starting then at the top, Bournemouth St Michael's 1, Hull Sports 0. Goal in that one in the 55th minute for Sheehan Jarvis for Boldmere. Burton Albion 2, Peterborough United 2. Only the one goal being recorded so far. Burton Albion not with the lineup on the website. Peterborough United getting a goal from Jessica Driscoll in the 86th minute, with only one goal recorded. Own goal being the second goal for Peterborough United there. Leafield Athletic 4, Wem Town 1. No details on that game at all yet. So we'll move straight on to Lincoln City against Solihull Moors, where goal for Solihull Moors came from substitute Charlotte Leadham in the 68th minute. Again, no details yet of the Lincoln City lineup there. Long Eaton United getting a 1-goal victory over Bedworth United. Fortunately, again, no details from Long Eaton United about their lineup from yesterday. So we'll move on to the final game then. Sporting Cowser 1, Leek Town 3. Nothing from Sporting Cowser, but all the goals coming really early on from Leek Town. Goals from Paris O'Connor in the 7th minute and the 15th minute, and then Cassie Hyde in the 20th minute, giving the Leek Town those third goals. So Sporting Cowser only getting the one goal, couldn't get anything from that game. Let's then have a look at the table in the Division 1 Midlands. I appreciate that it's not ideal having raced through those without much of the information, but Bournemouth St Michael's 10 points from their 4 games. They top the table 1 point ahead of Long Eaton United and Lincoln City, who both have 9. Then there's a group of teams on 6, Solihull Moors, Leafield Athletic, Doncaster Rovers, Bells and Leek Town, all with 6. Burton Albion, they're on their own with 5 points. Peterborough United, Hull Sports, Wem Town and Sporting Cowser have all only played 3 games. At Peterborough top that kind of mini table, 4 points. Hull Sports 3 points, Wem Town 3 points. Sporting Cowser there at the bottom on no points, and Bedworth United right at the foot of the table with a minus 13 goal difference and no points from their campaign so far. Let's move then into Division 1 North. Not as many midweek games here, but on Tuesday, Norton Stockton Ancients lost by 3-1 to Durham Sestra. Then on Wednesday, Newcastle United put 7 past Alnwick Town, winning by 7-1. FC United of Manchester beating Bradford City by 3-1. Then on Thursday, Chorley 3, Stockport County 3. Let's start then with that Norton Stockton Ancients game. Goals for Durham Sestra coming from Erin Nicholson in the 20th minute, Amy Hargrave in the 62nd minute and Grace Eyre in the 66th minute. Consolation goal from Norton Stockton Ancients coming in the 88th minute from Lily Patrick. Big result of the week, though, comes from Newcastle United, who beat Alnwick Town by 7-1. And it really was a 2-woman show in this one. Katie Barker with 4 goals for Newcastle United. Again, one of these players who I feel a name is going to keep cropping up throughout the course of this season. Newcastle United, they've played 3 games. She scored in the 6-0 win against FC United of Manchester. Sorry, they've played 2 games, and she scored in the game against FC United of Manchester, winning 6-0, and then scored 4 goals in this one. So 5 from 2 games for Katie Barker. And then not to be outdone, Casey Elson also coming with a hat-trick there. So 4 goals for Katie Barker and 3 goals for Casey Elson, giving Newcastle United 7 goals there, and an own goal from Newcastle as well, giving Alnwick Town their only goal, as it won by 7 goals to 1. FC United of Manchester then beating Bradford City by 3 goals to 1. Unfortunately, FC United of Manchester, there's no lineup or anything on the website, and Bradford City haven't recorded a goal scorer, so we'll assume, as we have been doing when goal scorers haven't been registered, that was an own goal from FC United of Manchester. And then finally on the Thursday, Chorley 3, Stockport County 3. Good game there. Goals coming from Chorley from Laura Walker, and then substitute Katie Matthews in the 55th minute and Bethany Worth in the 68th minute. Goals for Stockport County, 2 from Olivia Dixon and 1 from Maria Figueiredo. Into the weekend then, Alnwick Town 0, Leeds United 1, Barnsley 2, FC United of Manchester 3, Bradford City 2, Chester Street Town 1, Liverpool Feds 3, Chorley 0, and Stockport County 0, Newcastle United 3. So we'll start there at the top, Alnwick Town against Leeds United. Unfortunately, no details have been released yet, but a 1-0 victory there for Leeds United. And it's the same situation with Barnsley against FC United of Manchester. Bradford City beating Chester Street Town by 2 goals to 1. Charlotte Stewart with a goal in the 46th minute for Bradford City. Backed up by Sophie Hawkins in the 79th minute. Goal for Chester Street Town coming from Anise Legg. Moving then on to Liverpool Feds against Chorley. Liverpool Feds goals coming, 2 quick goals. Rosie Kinvig scoring in the 9th and the 10th minute. So quick fire double to put Liverpool Feds 2-0 up. And then Paige Cole in the 78th minute, rounding off the game, 3 goals and 3 points for Liverpool Feds. And finally, Stockport County losing by 3 goals to 0 to Newcastle United. Again, it's the same story with no information on the website. So we'll move straight on to the table then. 2 teams there at the top, Newcastle United and Liverpool Feds with their 100% records, 3 from 3. But Newcastle, with that superior goal difference of 15, find themselves at the top of the table. Chorley in 3rd place, 7 points, but they have played a game more. And then Norton Stockton Ancients, Durham Cestra, Leeds United and FC United of Manchester all on 6 points. Then towards the bottom of the table, Chester Street Town on 4 points, but they have only played 3 games. They could win that game in hand and jump themselves up level with Chorley in 3rd place at the moment. And then Bradford City, Stockport County and Alnwick Town, they've all played 4. Bradford City top that group on 3 points. Stockport County and Alnwick Town both have 1. Alnwick Town on minus 14 goal difference already. That big defeat to Newcastle isn't going to help that. And then Barnsley at the foot of the table, but they have only played 2 games and are yet to get themselves off the mark. Division 1 South East then. Told you there was a lot to go through today with effectively 2 full rounds of fixtures. We'll start in the midweek games as we always do. On Tuesday night, Actonians 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Stevenage 0, Cambridge City 4. Then on Wednesday, AFC Wimbledon 1, London Seaward 3, Billericay Town 1, # United 1, and Enfield Town 1, Harlow Town 1. Start then on the Tuesday. Actonians beating Queen's Park Rangers by just that goal to 0. Greta Humphreys in the 59th minute, the only goal of the game. Cambridge City beating Stevenage by 4 goals to 0. Goals from Grace Stanley, Carly Talento, Lauren Tomlinson and Amy Reid with the 4 goals there for Cambridge City. AFC Wimbledon 1, London Seaward 3. Goals for London Seaward, who found themselves 3-0 up at half-time. Katie Bradley in the 12th minute, Catherine Long in the 19th, and Kaylee Zaidas in the 33rd minute. Goal for AFC Wimbledon in the second half, coming from Ashley Hinks in the 64th minute. 2 1-1 draws then to round out the midweek fixtures. Billericay Town 1, # United 1. Goal for Billericay Town scored by Zoe Russian, and goal for # United scored by Madeline Thomas. And then for Enfield against Harlow Town, there haven't been any goal scorers recorded, but Molly Kmitter getting sent off in the 44th minute for Enfield Town. Moving then into the weekend, we've got Cambridge City 1, AFC Wimbledon 4, Harlow Town 0, Cambridge United 6, Hashtag United 4, Kent Football United 0, Norwich City 1, Enfield Town 4, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Billericay Town 3, Stevenage 0, Actonians 1. Start then with, we would start with Cambridge City against AFC Wimbledon, but there haven't been any details put up at the moment, nor have there been any details about Harlow Town against Cambridge United, or about Hashtag United against Kent Football United. So we'll go to Norwich City 1, Enfield Town 4, where it was a really strong start for Enfield Town. Molly Kmitter in the first minute, putting them ahead, and then a hat-trick for Katie O'Leary, 44th minute, 78th minute, and 84th minute there for Katie O'Leary. No goals recorded for Norwich City, so again, as that doesn't happen, we'll take the assumption it was a own goal from Enfield Town. Moving then to Queen's Park Rangers against Billericay Town. No information about Billericay, but the goal for Queen's Park Rangers coming from Melanie Hall. Then in the final game where Actonians were 1-0 victors over Stevenage, again don't have any information about that game yet, so we'll go straight to the table where Billericay Town just about lead Hashtag United by a few goals. They're both on 10 points from their 4 games. Actonians just behind them with 9 points from their 4 games. London Seaward have only played 3 and they're on 7, so they could join that 10 points from 4 games club with another win. A group of teams on 6 points. Cambridge United, who have only played 3. Queen's Park Rangers, AFC Wimbledon and Cambridge City. Enfield Town have 5 points. Harlow Town with 1. And then Kent Football United, Stevenage and Norwich City are all still yet to get off the mark. Into the Division 1 Southwest, then the final division that we're going to be looking at. Games on Wednesday. AFC Bournemouth 4, Southampton Women 0. Chesham United 1, Maidenhead United 0, Larkhall Athletic 0, Portishead 1, and Cheltenham Town 1, Swindon Town 1. Start then with Bournemouth against Southampton Women. Goals for Bournemouth. Again, another 2 early goals here. 4th minute for Becky Bath and 6th minute for Molly Clark. Becky Bath then got her second of the game on the 32nd minute. 3-0 to Bournemouth, the score at half-time. Maisie Smith then adding to that tally in the 58th minute. And it was a 4-0 victory for Bournemouth in the end. Chesham United against Maidenhead United. Goal there coming from Gemma Fraser in the 18th minute. And Larkhall Athletic against Portishead. Goal for Portishead coming to Kiana Jones in the 72nd minute. Cheltenham Town against Swindon Town. It was 1-1 at half-time there. 2 early goals. Lacey J. Liggett for Cheltenham Town in the 4th minute. Again, a name that you're going to hear quite a bit as they scored the only goal in the 3-1 loss to Southampton opening day of the season, and then scored here against Swindon as 2 goals for her early in the first 3 games of the season. Goal for Swindon Town in the 16th minute to Annabelle Colston, and those were the only goals of the game. Let's then move through into the weekend. Exeter City 1, Cheltenham Town 2, Larkhall Athletic 0, AFC Bournemouth 6, Poole Town 1, Buckland Athletic 4, Portishead 3, Chesham United 3, and Swindon Town 0, Southampton Women 1. At the top of that screen, then Exeter City against Cheltenham Town. A goal for Exeter City coming from Zoe Watkins. Goals for Cheltenham Town in the 18th minute to Amy Wathen and in the 74th minute to Samantha Holsworth. Bournemouth, though, the big winners. They're scoring 10 goals this week and not conceding any. Goals for Bournemouth coming in the 27th minute to Katie James, 28th minute to Chloe Newton. A hat-trick then for Becky Bath, again after popping up again in the week. 32nd, 55th and 76th minute for Becky Bath. She's now got herself 5 goals from 4 games. And then rounding it off, Molly Clark in the 85th minute, her second goal in as many games. Poole Town then against Buckland Athletic. Goals for Buckland Athletic coming from Chloe Williams in the 1st minute and the 40th minute. 2 goals for her. Freya Jackson in the 57th minute and Sam Kotslinka in the 63rd minute. No goals recorded for Poole Town. So again, we'll go with the assumption of the own goal as it usually is. No details yet on the 3-3 draw between Portishead and Chesham United. And no details on the goal scorer for Southampton women in that final game that we'll be looking at. Let's look then at the table, and it's Bournemouth that top it, 8 points from their 4 games, quickly followed though by Chesham United, who have that game in hand on Bournemouth on 7 points. Cheltenham Town and Southampton women also on 7 points. Portishead are 5 points from their 4 games, and then 4 points each for Exeter City and Maidenhead United. A group of teams on 3 points there, Swindon Town, Buckland Athletic and Larkhall Athletic. From their 3 points from their opening few games. Poole Town at the bottom of the table there on no points from their 3 games. Right, and that was all of the results that have happened over the past 7 days. Now let's look at what's coming up this Sunday, the 5th of September. We'll start in the Northern Premier Division where Brighouse Town face Middlesbrough. Burnley take on Huddersfield Town. FC Fylde against Hull City. Loughborough Lightning against Stoke City. West Bromwich Albion against Sheffield FC. West Bromwich Albion still looking for their first point of the campaign. But I think that's the pick of the games at the bottom there. Wolverhampton Wanderers against Nottingham Forest. 2 teams tied at the top of the table. As I say, Forest have that top spot on goal difference at the moment. But Wolves against Forest is going to be the pick of the games in the Northern Premier Division this Sunday, I feel. Wolves, they've got a tough run. They've just played Fylde and drew 0-0. Now they've got to face Forest. Forest in their own right are about to start this tough run where they've got Wolves away, Fylde at home, Derby at home. So they've got to play all the teams that are picking up points early on in this season. So it'll be a real test for both of these teams to see what their season may well look like and how they can compete against the other top teams in the division. Let's have a look at the Southern Premier Division then. Cardiff City against London Bees. Chichester and Selsey against Ipswich Town. Crawley Wasps against MK Dons. Gillingham against Bridgwater United. Hounslow against Southampton. Portsmouth against Keynsham Town. And Plymouth Argyle against Oxford United. Again, the tie for me here, you've got Southampton at the top with a 100% record. You've got Hounslow at the bottom, yet to get a point. So it is very much top versus bottom at the moment. You'd have to fancy Southampton for that one. Other than that, you've got, it's very much kind of, seems to be a top versus bottom kind of scenario here. You've got Crawley in 7th for playing MK Dons in 13th. Gillingham in 12th. They've got Bridgwater who are 3rd. Portsmouth who are 5th have got Keynsham Town there in 11th. Plymouth Argyle against Oxford, that's 9th versus 4th. And Cardiff against London Bees is 6th versus 10th. So there aren't really the early top table clashes that the Northern Division has, but I think Southampton against Hounslow, that top versus bottom is probably, and without wishing to kind of speak ill of Hounslow at all, probably going to find quite a few goals there for Southampton, the way that they have started this season. A goal difference of 16 already from 4 games, very strong showing from Southampton. Division 1 Midlands then, we've got Bedworth United against Doncaster Rovers Bells, Holwell Sports against Leafield Athletic, Leek Town versus Boldmere St Michael's, Lincoln City against Burton Albion and Solihull Moors against Sporting Cowser, finishing off with Peterborough United against Long Eaton United. Again, an opportunity here for teams to try and increase that gap as much as they can. You've got Boldmere St Michael's, they're away to Leek Town. Leek Town are in 7th. Long Eaton United, the 2nd place team, they're coming up against Peterborough United, who are down in 9th. Again, it is still really early days. Doncaster Rovers Bells, they've been doing okay at the start of this season. They go away to current pointless Bedworth United. Sporting Cowser have got to face Solihull Moors. We know Solihull Moors had that great win at the start of the season as well. So that could be a tough one for Sporting Cowser. Lincoln City against Burton Albion as well. That's 3rd versus 8th. So it still is at the moment kind of more split to a top versus bottom kind of fixture list this weekend in the Division 1 Midlands. In the Division 1 North, we've got a game on Thursday night, Leeds United against Barnsley. That one, Barnsley is then yet to get off the mark, but they've only played their 2 games, so it's a bit difficult to say too much about Barnsley at the moment. And then at the weekend, we've got Barnsley against Bradford City, Chester Street Town against Stockport County, FC United in Manchester against Alnwick Town, Leeds United against Liverpool Feds, and Newcastle United against Crawley. And I think it's that game at the bottom again there, first versus third. Even at this early stage, you've got Newcastle United on their 100% record so far. Crawley are in third. They certainly haven't had a bad start to their season, so that could be a very close game. And you've got Barnsley, who have got Leeds on Thursday. They're in 6th. They've got Bradford, who are in 9th at the weekend. So chances there for Barnsley to get themselves off the mark. Chester Street Town against Stockport County. A good opportunity for one of those teams to get themselves 3 points and start to climb up the table. And the same with Alnwick Town, their way to FC United of Manchester. Again, I think that's a game that either team could take. Alnwick Town, with the one draw from their 4 games so far, is the only point that they've got. So very similar to their Stockport County and Chester Street Town. They'll be looking for a win to climb themselves up that table. But I do think it's Newcastle United against Crawley, the pick of the games in the Division 1 North. Division 1 South East then. We'll have a look at that one. We've got Actonians against Harlow Town, AFC Wimbledon against Norwich City, Billericay Town against Stevenage, Cambridge United against Kent Football United, # United against Enfield Town, and London Seaward come up against Cambridge City. Again, we've got a top versus bottom there. Billericay Town against Stevenage. # United against Enfield Town is kind of top 2 versus bottom 3rd there. Norwich City away at AFC Wimbledon. AFC Wimbledon kind of mid-table at the moment. Again, Norwich not being able to get off the mark. Kent Football United against Cambridge United. Again, Kent Football United desperate to get off the mark. Cambridge United in 5th with 6 points from their 3 games. So again, as I said, for a few of the other leagues, very much kind of top versus bottom half there. But Billericay Town against Stevenage. Billericay Town will be fancying themselves in that one and getting another win on the board early on. And try and put some distance between themselves and # United in 2nd if they can. Finally then, in the Division 1 South West, Buckland Athletic against Portishead, Cheltenham Town versus Larkhall Athletic, Chesham United against Swindon Town, Maidenhead United are taking on Poole Town, and Southampton Women against Exeter City. So opportunities here with Bournemouth, the team at the top of the table and the team that aren't playing this weekend. So Chesham United in 2nd there. They're coming up against Swindon Town, who are down in 8th. But also there, Cheltenham Town and Southampton Women. So Cheltenham have got Larkhall Athletic, who are down in 10th now out of 11. Southampton Women have Exeter. Those 2 teams are quite closely matched. Yes, Southampton are 3 points ahead of Exeter, but Exeter have got a game in hand. So looking at those teams, that could be quite evenly matched. Poole Town against Maidenhead United. Poole Town, the only team in that division yet to get off the mark. The victory against Maidenhead United could see them get into that group with Swindon, Buckland and Larkhall Athletic. So plenty of incentives there for Poole Town. What Poole Town don't want to do is have another loss this weekend and let that gap grow to maybe 4 points, or in the worst case scenario, there's 6 points. And already, even though you're at this early stage of the season, when you kind of start falling extra games behind than just one, starts to get a little more of a daunting task. Not necessarily more difficult, because as we have seen, 2 games in a week, you can overturn that in a week, but it just kind of looks a bit more daunting when you're more than a game off the foot of the table. So that is the Division 1 South West as well. So that will cover everything that we're going to look at this week on the FA Women's National League show. We've got exciting stuff coming up. The Cup is not too far away. We'll have a special show about that one. Probably be a bit of a shorter one with just cup ties rather than league fixtures and results to go to. But yeah, we've got the Cup coming up, which is going to be very exciting. Instead, I've got a few guests that have reached out to me, and I'm going to reach out to some more people as well. So it's not just half an hour of me talking. It will hopefully make this show a bit more interesting. But once again, thank you for watching the FA Women's National League show. If you could share this around as much as possible, trying to promote the FA Women's National League, the third and fourth tier of women's football in England. If you could share it as much as you possibly can, and like and give any comments down below in the comments section on YouTube, it'd be very grateful. If you want to reach out to me directly, my Twitter is at Chris_Gadsby. And we'll hopefully continue to grow this show, grow the league as much as we can. I'll be here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. For the FA Women's National League show. We'll look at everything that's happened and everything that's going to happen in the third and fourth tier of women's football here in England. But as I've been saying every week, thank you for your support on this show to start with. It's kind of got more support than I thought it would do. And please do keep yourselves safe, but obviously you can go and enjoy the football at your local team. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. for the FA Women's National League show. Goodbye.